We have a question from JLP, who's watching in spite of the fact that we only have 50% of most Dank icon here.
Half the icon's gone.
And if you want to join us, JLP, or anyone else watching, I dropped the link in the live stream where you can actually call in. I think that link should work if you click it and then hit start live call in or something. But anyways, his question is, I have an end time question to do with Zionism. I used to be Zionist, but then my theology of the two kingdoms pulled me out of that. However, my end times view of historic premillennialism has not changed, which it should. He should become an amillennial partial preterist. But anyway, but this is probably for you since you're.
He probably loves the early church too much.
So he says so, and doesn't love reading scripture in context, So if there will eventually be a mass conversion by the Jews, Romans 11, at the time of Jesus's return, how do we separate that from Zionism? Do you believe in a mass conversion of the Jews?
I think that so as a premillennialist, I believe in a revival in the end days. But the question for me is that may or may not have nothing to do with physical Israel. Since the diaspora, we don't know where Jews are. Well, like we don't even know which communities are Jewish. And there's certainly no reason to think that whatever revival there should be only come from the Ashkenazis. It could be from any quarter of physical Israel. So that's one thing. And the second thing is that it's very likely that whatever, if that's the case, if we assume premillennialism, then the most likely scenario is that physical Israel, the Jews there, are going to be the ones who get in the way of those evangelists that are springing up out of physical Israel. Like that will be the detractors. That will be the people trying to shut them up and silence them. Whatever Christian witness would arise from physical Israel will become the enemy of the secular nation state of Israel. And I think I always say those terms together because there's been such a religious sanctification of the nation state of Israel that I always say what it actually is: the secular nation state of Israel. It is not Judaism. It is the secular nation state of Israel. And it's very purposely secular. It's very purposely a nation state. That's why the more radical forms of orthodoxy don't accept the validity of the Israeli state because it's not predicated on the law, the Mosaic law. So, and Ben-Gurion and the original founders of Israel knew that. They were trying to purposefully create a secular nation state of Israel. Yeah. So there's no reason to read Israel as the benefactor of that evangelistic fervor that's predicted in the premillennialist outcome.